Hello and welcome back to another Warhammer Quest game report. We're still doing social distancing here in California, so this is going to be another solo game that I'm doing while the Warhammer group is still apart and being safe. I'm going to be using the same team of adventurers I used in my last game report, and I'm also going to be including the Lair of the Orc Lord objective rooms and event and monster cards in the decks, just to give a little variety for monsters and scenarios that I can run. I went over my heroes in greater detail in the last battle report, so I'm just going to go over them briefly right now. First of all, I'm bringing Brom Brugelmeister. He is an Imperial Noble. I've rolled up a rather sad 9 wounds for that guy. He has an heirloom, which is good against Skaven and giant rats, so those monsters will have a -1 to hit me. He also has his rapier, which is an interesting weapon. It does a small amount of damage, but can hit multiple times in a round, so long as you keep hitting. And he has his dueling pistol. Since I'm not bringing the Barbarian, he's going to be the leader of my warband. Next we have Sir Sotet, who is a Bretonnian Questing Knight. He has rolled himself up a mighty 11 starting wounds. He has his broadsword and his heavy armor. His quest is to find a suit of magical armor, so every time I pick up a magical suit of armor I have to roll d6 on a 5 or 6. That's what he's looking for. And I have re-rolled my favor for the game, because I think you re-roll those for every game. Last time I got the Milkmaid's favor. This time I roll a 6 and I get the Fey Enchantress's favor, which means every round I can re-roll it to hit roll. Between that and his weapon skill of 4 and his giant amount of damage his broadsword can do, I'm expecting great things from Sir Sotet this round. Then we have Dursus. He is a witch hunter. He has got his regular hefty sword and his pistol. He has got a great 11 starting wounds, which is nice because that can be really variable. He has 4 faith tokens, which he can use to add +1 to any of his dice rolls. And he has 5 amulets. So he has all the amulets a witch hunter can have except for the healing one. So all of them except for the best one. And finally, we have Cleric Grodvalka. He rolled 10 wounds to start, which is not fantastic. He has a Ring of Jade, which has a chance of healing warriors at the end of the warriors phase. And he has the Holy Book, which can bless people if I can roll a d6 plus the power score for the round, and that makes 7 or more. Basically, I can give him an extra attack. I can do things like give him rerolls or +1 to hit, but really the extra attack is best. Sir Sotet with an extra attack plus the reroll to hit every round, that's going to be scary, I think. To start our adventure, I take all the objective room cards, I put them in a pile, I draw one at random, and I get the idle chamber. Go to the adventure book, roll up a d6, and I find that my mission this round is sacrifice? ? So one of my warriors has a friend that's been captured by monsters, they've taken him to the idle chamber, and we have to go rescue him. At the beginning of every round, I roll 3d6. If all 3 are the same number, then, well, we're too late. My warrior's bud has been killed off, and that's it. We kind of failed the mission. In that case, the guy whose friend just got killed is so mad that he's going to be at +1 attack and -1 weapon skill. He's also going to do that when he gets to the objective room and he sees his friend all up in chains. So I draw a warrior counter randomly, and I get Cleric Grodvalka. So my warrior priest, his good friend from cleric college days, has been captured by monsters, and we have to go rescue him. The warrior priest is not great for me to roll up. First off, his attacks are kind of bad, so he's not going to do a lot of damage with the extra attack. Also, going from weapon skill 2 to weapon skill 1 is not great. That means I'm going to hit most things on a 5 or a 6. Going from weapon skill 4 to weapon skill 3 would have been a lot easier to handle. So this isn't going to give me a whole lot of benefit, but otherwise there aren't a whole lot of penalties to the mission itself. So it is still very achievable, and I may still get the gold even if the sacrifice is killed off. So we take the idle chamber objective room, we shuffle it in with 6 other cards, we deal 6 more cards on top of that, we get our adventure room starting deck, we draw the top card, and just like last time, we get a T section right away. So I have to split the remaining dungeon room cards down either passageway. So it means my journey to the idle chamber could be cut in half, or I may go all the way down one passageway, find it's not there, and then have to go back through those rooms and all the way through the other rooms, increasing the amount of time I have to spend in this thing by a lot. So we'll see. For the first round of the game, I have rolled a 4 in the power phase, so no monsters jump out. And since I started off in the right-hand passageway, I can go and explore immediately. So no one moves, no one has to heal anything or anything like that. Brom Brugelmeister, my leader, the guy with the lantern, he goes and explores, and we find a passageway. So the next turn rolls around, I roll a 3 for the power phase, so no monsters. So we're going to stay in formation, we're going to creep down this passageway like this. Next round I roll a 5 on the power phase, so I continue on moving, get to the end, I get to explore it in the end of the warrior phase, and I find a room. I find the dungeon cell. Okay, I think we're getting close. This is probably where they're holding Cleric Rodvalka's pal. Anyway, I know when I go into that room, the monsters are going to spring out and I'm going to have a fight. So on the next turn, I roll a 3 for the power phase, so still no monsters, so I'm doing real well. I'm making some progress. A lot better than last time. We all move into the room. I hug that initial wall that I've entered on. We draw an event card to see what happens, and we get the portcullis. So a big gate slams behind me, and I can't go through it until I find the key. Again, this is bad news if I've chosen the wrong way to go down in that initial T-junction, because the objective room could be in that other passageway, so I could be in for a lot of fights before I get that key, or it could not matter at all if the objective room is past this room. In any event, we have to draw another event card after the portcullis slams down, and I draw Gubbins the Jester. So Gubbins the Goblin Jester is a special monster from the Lair of the Orc Lord set. He's just a phenomenal model. I really enjoyed painting that guy. In an old edition of Warhammer Fantasy, I used to use that guy as a goblin big boss with the Heart of Woe, so I'd just send him screaming at the opponent army to explode. But in this game, he is an extremely annoying jester that attaches to one of your characters and just dances around daring you to hit him. So in this case, he has gone and attached himself to Sir Sotet, my Bretonnian Questing Knight. So there's a number of special rules that happen while Gubbins the Jester is on the board. First off, I don't actually have to attack him. I can just ignore him. And I continue to fight monsters, explore in the exploration phase, and receive treasure cards as usual. The bad thing is that I subtract 1 from the power score every round. So that means that monsters show up on a 1 or a 2 as opposed to a 1. I've got less power to do my blesses, and it's just kind of a pain in general. Also, the guy that he's particularly annoying, in this case Sir Sotet, if I roll a 1 to hit, then I actually get tripped and I fall down, and all the monsters are +1 to hit me in that round. You can attack him, but you actually roll on a special chart when you do so. If you go to attack him on a 1 or a 2, you actually go and hit yourself, or if you're using a missile weapon, you go and hit another warrior. If you roll a 3 or a 4, then you are tripped, just like I described above. On a 5, just nothing happens, he just ducks and taunts you. And on a 6, you actually get him, and when you get him, then his Squighound Growler shows up. So I decided that I can't really take the -1 in the power phase for the rest of this adventure. I need to get rid of this guy. So even though I could hurt myself, in fact, it's twice as likely that I hurt myself trying to get this guy as I actually kill him off, I think I need to get rid of him. So my turn rolls around, I roll a 6 for the power score, which of course goes down to a 5 because of Gubbins. Doesn't matter, a monster doesn't arrive, and I also do manage to get my bless off. In this case, I think I want Brom to go and finish him off. First off, he's attacking first. Second off, his weak sword doesn't really matter for this guy since you don't really roll damage. So Cleric Rodvalka goes and blesses Brom and gives him a reroll. So if I get something bad on that chart, I'm going to go and reroll the result. So Brom is first because he's the leader. He's already in base-to-base contact with Gubbins the Jester, so he strikes at him. I miss. I'm going to go ahead and use my reroll, and I get a 6. So Gubbins the Jester dies theatrically and falls down. And we hear some angry howls from down the passageway, which means that Growler is going to show up. I know Growler is going to go and try to attack Brom, so I move Sir Sotet and Dursus so that we're all kind of circled around where Growler is going to show up, so when he arrives, we can all hit him with our swords. And sure enough, in the monster phase, Growler the Squighound arrives and immediately goes and attacks Brom. He hits him for a good 6 points of damage, which definitely hurts, but we did expect this. We're ready to counterattack. It's a new hero phase. We roll a 6 for the power score, so that's great. Anything but a 1, and I get that bless. And I go and roll a 1, and so Cleric Rodvalka goes and fails that bless like a chump. Brom Brogelmeister, my Imperial Noble, gets to strike first. He hits Growler the Squighound for 2 points of damage, and he gets to re-roll again. He gets to make another attack if he hits. So he rolls again, and he misses. So then it's over to Sir Sotet. Sir Sotet goes and does 3 points of damage, which is kind of a low number for him. But that does mean that Growler is down to just 1 wound left, and I really don't want that guy to bite me anymore. Dursus is next. I roll a 2 to hit, but I really want this Growler guy to die, so I use 2 of my faith tokens to turn that into a hit. With that, I do enough damage to finish off Growler, and that's it. Cleric Rodvalka moves forward to where Growler was just to form up everybody so that people can't surround us. He does get his Ring of Jade to work, so he's going to heal Brom for 3 points of damage, which is nice. And we have drawn a treasure card for defeating Gubbins and Growler, and we get the invisibility ring, which is an awesome little item you can use once per adventure, and nobody can attack you for a round. So I give that to Brom, because he is the one that finished off Gubbins and took the big hit from Growler. So it's a new warrior phase. We roll a power score of 6, which again is real nice. No new encounters. We move up and we get to explore, and we've found the objective room. We've found the idol chamber. This is great news. I'm so happy about this. I think I am going to win an adventure for the first time in a long time. Not only that, everyone's feeling good. Cleric Grodvalka goes and rolls a double on his Ring of Jade and heals the remaining damage on Brom Brogelmeister. So we are in fantastic shape. All I have to do is go into the idol chamber and really just not roll a 1 on the monster table. So long as I don't roll a 1 and get the one where 3 Minotaurs appear, I should be able to go and complete this adventure. So it's a new turn. We roll a 2 for the power score, which is fine. We all move into the chamber. I roll my d6 for the monsters table. Guess what I do? You'll never guess what the number is that I've rolled. I roll a 1, which means that we get the big pile of monsters for this end battle. So we get 3 Minotaurs, 4 Orc Warriors, and 6 Orc Archers. This is probably going to kill me. This is probably why they say for people's first adventure, do the fighting pit, because the monster in that one is set. You know you're not going to fight 3 Minotaurs. It's also a problem because I went through the rest of this dungeon so quickly, I didn't build up any magic items. I don't have any cool one-use abilities or anything like that that'll let me kill off these Minotaurs a little bit more easily. So ironically, if I had gone longer, if it had taken me more time to go through this dungeon, so long as I was able to heal myself, I would have been in better shape. But now I don't have much to fight these guys with. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I'm probably gonna die again. I do try and arrange how the monsters are positioned to give myself as much of a chance as possible. I put 1 Minotaur in contact in the middle with Sursotet and the rest Orcs. The idea being is I'm going to concentrate all my attacks on 1 Minotaur at a time. So hopefully that slows him down. 1 Minotaur, I kill him, another one steps up, he does some damage, I kill him, and we just keep going. One of the problems is going to be those Orc Archers, because they really have the ability to do a lot of damage at range, and I don't have much of anything that can clear those guys out really quickly. I've just got to hope they miss a lot. So here we go. I roll a power score of 4 for the next round, and Cleric Grodvalka immediately goes and fails his Bless. Not a great start. Brom Brogelmeister goes first in the upper left-hand corner. He is the only one that can't fight a Minotaur right now. So he's going to fight these 2 orcs. So he hits 1 orc and actually does 2 points of damage. Then he hits it again and he does another point of damage, and so he kills that orc. And because he kept hitting, he now gets another attack, and so he hits that last orc and kills him. What a great time for Brom Brogelmeister to suddenly show this uncharacteristic display of competence. I really didn't want to kill those orcs. So now instead of fighting 1 Minotaur at a time, because Brom went and just fluked all these dice rolls, I've got these 2 empty spaces in front of me, and so both those Minotaurs can charge into my rank. So I could have 3 Minotaurs fighting me at once. What are you doing, Brom? All you had to do was miss like you normally do. Sursotet is up next, and he needs a 4+ to hit. He misses. No problem. He's got the Fey Enchantress's reroll that he can do, and he goes in and misses again. Guys, not great. So we are really leaning on Dursus. No sense saving any of those amulets or anything now. So he goes and uses the Amulet of Strength as well as the Amulet of Fury. So he's going to get an extra attack, and he's going to add 5 to his Strength. He strikes once, he hits, he causes 8 damage, which is a great start. He strikes again, and he misses. And I roll a 1 to hit on that miss, so it means that even if I use all my remaining faith tokens, I still can't turn that into a hit. But we're not done yet. I also have an Amulet of Holy Fire, so he goes and shoots a Fireball of Sigmar at that Minotaur, and that goes a little bit better. I use 1 faith token to do enough damage on that guy to burn him to a crisp, so at least I have 1 less Minotaur. I'm only going to have to deal with 2 Minotaurs, which is absolutely bad enough, but 3 would have been the death of everybody. Finally, I have the Amulet of Alcadizzer, so I go and I use that, and I take away an attack on one of the Minotaurs. So now they're only going to strike at me with 3 attacks. The best I can do. Cleric Grodvalka is up next, and he just misses the orc. See, Brom? Is that so hard? So it's now the monsters phase, and the Minotaurs step forward, and the first one goes and tries to smash Brom Brogelmeister. He hits and causes 8 points of damage. Braum only has 1 hit point remaining. He can't take any more of that. He's going to use his Ring of Invisibility, because otherwise one of those archers is just going to kill him off. Dursus also takes a Minotaur hit and takes 5 points of damage. The Orc fighting Cleric Rodvalka is no slouch, and he hands him 4 points of damage, and then the arrows start raining down. So Sursotet takes 4 points of damage, and Dursus is killed. So my Witch Hunter got his big turn off. He killed a Minotaur, but then he is struck down by arrows. It's possible I can get Cleric Rodvalka to heal him up in my next turn, but we'll see. It's a new round and the power score is 2, which doesn't really help Cleric Rodvalka's blesses, and in fact he goes and fails that again. Braum Brogomeister is fighting a Minotaur and manages to cause 0 damage to that guy. He did hit though, so he gets to go and do another attack, but again he hits and he does 0 damage, and then he goes and finally misses, which is the problem with that guy's weapon. Sursotet goes and finally gets his act together and he manages to hit the Minotaur, but he only does 3 points of damage. He does d6 plus 6 damage, so he rolled a 1 on that damage score. Cleric Rodvalka can only attack the orcs. He goes and misses those guys, and then he goes for the Ring of Jade to see if we can't heal up Dursus, and we fail. Sorry, so Dursus is dead. We didn't heal him in time, and we're definitely on our way out because we did not do enough damage to even the odds. And sure enough, here we go. It is the monsters phase. Braum is killed, Sursotet is killed, Cleric Rodvalka is killed. Everyone is smashed to death by the Minotaurs and the orcs before the orc archers even get to fire. I was so close on this one. I was really there. I mean, I was rolling the 3d6 every round to see if the sacrifice had been killed off. I didn't mention that before. He never was. Cleric Rodvalka did get his extra attack, and of course he just kept missing because he's bad. He needed 5s or 6s to hit those orcs. If I hadn't rolled that 1 on what kind of monsters would arrive, I might have been in a lot better position. Maybe I will do the fighting pit next time. Of course, I have proven that I can just take a group of adventurers and die before I even get to the objective room, so it might not help all that much. What a rough game. I really felt maybe that one would work for me. Anyway, the good guys have had their shot, and they failed. Sorry, 2 missions in a row. We're going to retire this party of adventurers. I think I'm going to try a group of bad guys. For the next game, I'm going to bring out the Pit Fighter, the Chaos Warrior, the Barbarian, and a Wizard, and we're going to make a group of angry marauders. We're going to take it to the dungeons and see if we can collect scalps for our tribe. And if that one fails, maybe then I'll do an all-stars group. I'll just try and cut out all the people that I don't think necessarily pull their weight and just get the best characters I possibly can, because I do want to see myself actually winning an adventure one of these times. Again, this is solo play, so it would also help if I had other players here to just average out some of the bad dice rolls, or at least be able to blame somebody else. So that was kind of a quick one. Thanks for watching. I'm going to keep trying, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.